Hello, hello, hello. It's actually bang on 5 o'clock for once. Actually starting the stream on time. How are we all doing today? Oh, farm life. Irish farmer Guillermo, Adam, Ryan, Kirk, and Stephen. How are we all doing today? Arnold's doing good. It's been a while. We got a terrible memory, so for everybody it's been a while. Hey Jacob, and Adam as well, hello. YouTube has a new moderation feature today. Because when I opened up my dashboard it started shouting at me. Apparently now it's possible to pause chat by pressing Alt. You're bored of FS19? Why for, Kirk? Why for are you bored? Avert your eyes. I'm gonna need to do that again a bit later on in the stream, but for now we've got some seeds. Hey, on the farmer. I want soybeans. You had a chat with Lars today. Very nice Irish. YouTuber rule number 1 is do whatever it takes to get the work done. I presume you had a chat with him about trying to get maps out. Because that's the number one thing people want, and that's the number one thing I think he gets bothered about at this point. So I'm gonna generate a course here, and I'll know which one is. Field 20 is what my number-do is set at. 4 meters. Starting location current headland. We'll do 4. Circle bypass, and we'll do the headlands after the fact for added realism, because I'm sure Farm Life will be quite happy that I'm doing something vaguely realistic for once. Where the hell is the start point? Off over the other side of the field, okay. This cedar, by the way, is hilariously tiny for this field, but it'll work. Actually do the headland first. While seeding? No. Every time I do the headland first while seeding, people shout at me, so I'm fairly certain that you do the uppy downies first while seeding. I'm just gonna mega field seeding. I'm just gonna save that. Start from the first waypoint, please, sir. Oh, this needs to be a fertilizer and seed course. Start from the first waypoint, please, and off you go. There we go. Depends on what you're seeding. I find it's a bit easier to do it manually headland first, but if you're doing course play, it's actually easier to do no headland first. And this field, I want to put down some oats for funsies.
Ecstasy is a street name for the drug methylene deoxymethamphetamine.
What the hell, no? Cereal crops headland first. Well, soybean isn't really a cereal crop, so my point stands. In any case, it's the way I want to do it. It was a song that wasn't PG, which concerns me because I should have... Hang on a second. Hang on a... I've got it in PG mode! How did that get slipped through PG mode? You can't win any argument because you're usually wrong, Farm Life. Like, if you were right once in a while, then I'd give you a win, but you're just normally wrong. It's enough real life farmers come in here so that I know how to seed a field at this point. I'm telling you, you're wrong. Just because your dad does it one way, or it's done one way on your farm, doesn't mean it's the right way. Because the last thing you want while seeding, and I'll explain it to you very quickly. The last thing you want while seeding is to be running over the crop that you've just seeded and compacting it into the ground. That's why you don't see people... Thank you, Yanis. That's why you don't see people like immediately coming in with a, you know, roller or something, unless it's grass. Grass is the exception. Because grass doesn't care. Grass can do whatever it likes, really. It'll grow anywhere. Cereal crops and pretty much anything that you want to seed that isn't grass, yeah, you're going to be very cautious about what you're doing to the field when you're seeding it, because you don't want giant patches where the crop's dead immediately. Soybeans and wheat are rolled in your area. What kind of weird soil do you have in your area, Farmhouse? Because the most common type of soil, clay soil, at least in Ireland, is, yeah, the last thing you want is compaction. Most of Ireland and the UK would have clay type soil, so you're desperately trying to avoid compaction because it's the worst kind of soil to work. What's your as well? X-Boss, string wheat, no headland first. I'm sure with some soil types you can do it headland first, but if you're doing it... Any name mods? How? What? Hey, I'm Farmer. Just bear in mind that if you see it done one way once, or you don't see anything in your area, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Because I've never seen an auger wagon in Ireland, because I live in a very... kind of... I live in a crop-centric area, but it's quite small field, so there's no need for an auger wagon. I'm fairly certain there's one up country where it's a lot more crop heavy, a lot more arable, and the fields are much bigger. QA team's another man down? What? You're heading for... Yeah, I mean, soil type does have a... No mods today. Yeah, no mods today. Hopefully tomorrow we'll see something cool coming out. Looking increasingly like it won't be Marwell. Much to the chagrin of the farm sim community. This one's Civ 1 is away for... Oh, yeah, don't expect to see mods for a couple of weeks unless they get their new QA guys in. Fairly sharpish. That is a worst case scenario. I think the QA team is down to 2 people now. Just like 1 or 2 people. I hope whoever it is in hospital has a very speedy recovery, and despite the fact that it's surgery, it's not all that serious. Because it's never nice to see people in hospital, and as always, get well soon, whoever it is that's in hospital. Who is it that's in hospital? The surgery. Did Liz say, or do we know? Alexander, they've got a lot on their plate, and it didn't say. Well, I hope whoever it is gets well soon. Because never nice to have people sick. Patience is key when it comes to mods, but I have to say I'm very much in favor of what CD Models is doing of late, and just releasing the mods on Facebook temporarily. He has said that he'll take them down once they're actually in testing for Giants, but until that point they're going to be on Facebook, because, you know, a modder's prerogative is to have the mods in the hands of the people. And the Giant's not really testing at the moment, or Giant's testing being slower than a snail, particularly drunk snail that's lazy, then I'm all in favour of modders just putting stuff up on Facebook temporarily. Hey, Dusty. Really need to get a bigger seeder for this map, by the way, because I think a revision to first come. There has been that it's not quite first come first served. There is. Farm Life, will you please stop trying to bloody argue? One person proving your point versus everybody else proving mine means you lose. Take the L. I'm really happy with what the base game kit is, and like most of the good mods. Farm Life, are you trying to get banned? Like, seriously? Because you're just annoying me at this point. You're really annoying me. No, Cart, don't unban him. Unban him. We'll give him another chance. Thank you, Ennis. Don't let it be said that I actively wanted you banned. You're a lot in Minnesota. In the US? That's strange. I'm pretty sure Farm Life was complaining about something not happening in the UK yesterday when it did, and now he's saying something happens in the UK today when it doesn't. His narrative is a bit all over the place. Or doesn't much, I should say. At the end of the day, all farming activities are down to soil types. Really heavily depends on what the soil wants to do, how you do the farming. Because I will concede. I will concede that on certain soil types, it's perfectly fine to do the headlands first. Alexander, it's 4D modding you want to be looking up on Facebook. On some soil types you want to be doing headlands first because they don't really care about compaction. On most, however, you want to be doing your up and down straight lines first because they do care about compaction. So I'd presume that Farm Life lives on a farm that has a bit of an unusual soil type that doesn't actually care about compaction. Any mods? What are they at? Well, from what I've been hearing, Jack, one of the QA guys are in hospital to get works in combines also. Yeah. One of the QA guys is in hospital for a surgery, which hope they get well soon. And there's just not enough QA at the moment. So, unfortunately, Giants are going to fall further behind with the mod testing. And yeah, I'm already beginning to worry about, even though it's usually at the end of the year, I'm already starting to worry about whether or not they're going to have to cancel the mod contest this time around. Because, I mean, if testing's that far behind, why bother? Hello, Matt. What the? The song just said hello to me?
I've got brains to burn, no ordinary AI in this ball. Every culture and philosophy I've read up on them all. I've been living in your shadow for 99999, keeping every machination production line. So don't call me a moron, I'm super astute.
I don't know what Giants can do. Like, they are looking for they are trying to take on new QAs, which is good. They stopped taking mods for a while. They can't do that though. This is the problem. They can't just close down mod acceptance for, you know, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, a month, however long it takes for them to get through the list, and then reopen it because they'll just end up in the same place. They need to, I don't know, maybe I don't know what they could even do. Like, maybe try and simplify the tests. Yeah, work on the efficiency of how mods get tested. I don't know. Could they ask FSUK for help? No, because the testing standards are different. And like, one thing they could do is they could kind of use the FSUK model where they have volunteer testers for the PC only stuff and provide those testers with like all the stuff they'd need to test for PC. But like, they'd need to know that those testers actually know what they're doing. There's a number of mods only allowed per month. Well, how do you decide which mods are allowed through and which ones aren't then, Jack? Like, would it be first come first served, in which case the Central Europeans get a bit of an unfair advantage over the UK based guys because they're an hour ahead. You know, I could see 50-60 mods being uploaded in the first hour if it's only like 50-60 mods allowed in per month. I think all they can do is work on I guess the efficiency of the mod testing system. Somehow. Hey, Nathan. Are we confused? Hey, Aaron Agri as well, by the way. But I tell you, Giants do need to figure something out for sure. I have to invest a lot in it. This is the conundrum. Mods don't make money, but mods allow for the long tail of Farm Sim, because Farm Sim is a very long tail game. And if people stop playing because there just aren't many mods, like, that wouldn't be good for the game at all. And if all the mods are front weights or variations on the same challenger, then people are going to get frustrated with mods and stop using the mod hub. There is indirect money coming from mods, but there's no direct money. Like, it's a really bad situation Giants have found themselves in, where it's a catch-22 of damned if they do, damned if they don't, because there's no direct money from mods, but they need the mods to get the indirect money. And to keep the community happy. So how are you doing over here, New Holland? Because I've saddled you with a huge field and a very small cedar. It's like something from Tractor Spotter, T6 seeding giant field. You can kind of guess why I'm not doing this manually, by the way. Because, yeah. Hey, Matty. Dusty Dave in G. Mark your calendars, guys. That day of the month again. So the patch released in DLC, G, and the mods. Yeah, they've got a lot going on. Like the patch I wouldn't expect to see until around the time of the DLC, because that's Giants' usual MOs, like patch and DLC release around the same time. What I'm going to do while I'm waiting, well, while we've got basically nothing to do, is let's have a look at the contracts available. Because I've not done a contract in a very long time. Is there one for grasswork? There is Field 30. How big is Field 30 is small enough that I can do what I want here. Come here, Armor Track. Is that the mega field? That is the mega field. That's what happens when you merge fields 18, 19, and 20 together. Is you get a Germany-sized field. What's in the patch? We don't know. We won't know until the patch is out, pretty much. There is a free DLC coming. That much we know. Because we have the Horse DLC upcoming, which could be the DLC that is kind of coming out in the next probably a month or so. We're still waiting on confirmation on that. I think from a PR standpoint, it's probably best if it is Horse. Just because people are getting very, very frustrated with the lack of. Oh God, this is possibly too big for the mower, but we're going to do it anyway. Because I recall doing this field before, mainly because I can see some hay left behind. So what exactly am I asked to do on this field? Make hay while the sun shines. That can be done. Can diddly do. There'll be fixes, there'll be maybe a new feature or two. Maybe we'll get the ability to lay down grass in the terrain editor. Or in the terraforming thing. That'd be nice. Need some Baylor mods. Baylor mods would be nice. I'd like a conventional Baylor mod and a conventional bale collector. Because that's something that Farm Sim has never really had. Sure, there was the trailer with the old timer DLC in FS 13, but I'd like to see like one of the cool New Holland style ones that actually picks up the bales and goes around this big long loop and stuff. That'd be something I'd love to see in Farm Sim, because never, as far as I'm aware, been done before. A big pack would be nice. Just some more balers as variety would be nice. Bye, Farm Life. People stop playing as they want. Maps, mods, and DLC will have less takes in the beginning. That's exactly it. Like this is the conundrum Giants have: is mods don't make them money, and maps don't make them money. Anything on the mod doesn't make them money. In fact, it probably loses them a bit of money directly. But it keeps people interested in the game, which means the DLCs sell more on day one, and you know, it's a real conundrum. Do you want money now or do you want money later? And do you want players happy, and do you... You know, there's so much to be thought about when it comes to mod testing. Just on a side note, on the Farm Life thing, if you want realism, yeah, I do try and play realistically, but I don't really care for realism all that much. I'll play believably. I don't care about realism as key or anything like that. If you want realism, go to, you know, Virtual Farmer or Daggerwin. If you want to have fun, stay here. If you want to see what weird and wonderful limits the game can be pushed to, stay here and I'll see what I can do. All within the realms of believability. Paid DLC before a map will cause a meltdown. A paid DLC before a map will result in people not really caring about the DLC. Unless it is a map. Or something that's like super interesting. That normally means forestry. Excuse me. Have you seen the Megafield, Dusty? I actually bring it up on the map so you can see the shenanigans that I've created. So, there's the Megafield. It's quite large. It's for potato boxes, Alexander. It's for crates of like potato or sugar beet. You can use it for sugar beet too, I guess. Just to push them off the trailer. Or to keep them on. I'm not entirely sure which. But I've seen the, I was doing some rounds in FSUK last night because I was bored. I've seen Robbie's latest project, which is a Nugent trailer pack, which looks stunning. Looking forward to that one. Can't wait for a new modded map on FS19. That'd be, yeah. I don't think many people can wait. I'm quite happy with the base game maps, though. Like, I genuinely enjoy Felsbrunn. I think Ravenport isn't as bad as a lot of people say. I mean, yeah, it does have a garbage problem, but at the same time, I think that's part of the inherent storytelling of the map, that it's, I guess, supposed to represent the Rust Belt in America. I thought for some reason there were two towns in Ravenport, and that was my entire lore. Was like one town was a resort town, the other town was a bit crappy, and then I went on Ravenport to record a video talking about that, and realized there's only one town in Ravenport, and I'd suddenly got very confused because I thought there were two. I must have conflated it with some other map. But I mean, the crux of it is, I think Ravenport is somewhere that is making money now. Like, in the context of the game. And it's kind of indirectly through you. Your farm. You love your Felsbrunn map. Felsbrunn, I think, is Giant's best map yet. I like Ravenport. It is a very good map, but I think Felsbrunn just has an added bit of charm to it. Even though there's no kind of story in the map hidden away, I think it's just a good map. Hey Danish. How am I? I'm good. How are you? Just your opinion. The problem with Giants doing an American map, and the way Ravenport is made, is they try in Ravenport to represent all of America at once. And when you do that, you end up with something that just is a bit of a cluster. It doesn't represent anywhere particularly well, and it ends up annoying people from that area. Like, if you were to do a map that represented all the UK, you'd end up with people complaining the fields were too big and too small and too square and too round and too triangular and this and that and the other, and the yard is too big and too small at the same time somehow. You know, it's just the way the Giants decided to make the map that is the problem with Ravenport, I think. That it's trying to represent everywhere at once, and as a result represents nowhere at all, and ends up being a bad representation of the US as a whole. Hey, Gaming Matt. If they'd chosen, like, we'll say, generic farm in Ohio, that'd be cool. If they'd chosen, like, a specific state. Where do I get the music from? Pretzel. Which one's Ravenport again? That's the American map. Massey. This is the synthwave station, which apparently is the majority of it isn't friendly for YouTube. So all I'm going to do is I'm actually going to swap over to the EDM station again. Actually, no, I'm not going to swap over to EDM. Let's... Oh my god, chiptunes. Yes! No! I found the chiptune station. I am a happy bunny. Gold Crest was good, thinking about it. Gold Crest was a very good map. I think Westridge Hills was by far the worst. But you know, I think Giants are improving with maps in general. I did not notice the chiptune station before. What's my favorite machinery in FS19? I'm using it right now. This specific machinery right now. The Armatrack and 50k does more. Because by God does 50k don't know how to make a good mod. I'll openly say this. If I see something by 50k to appear, I download it immediately and I don't care what it is because I know that I'm gonna like it. He's one of those guys that is just like, ooh, a new thing by them. Yes, thank you. That's it. If he lets a standard slip, I will come down on him like a ton of bricks. Hey Sylvan. Your favourite was Bjorn Home and now Felsbrunn. My favourite was always, just for nostalgia value. Even though I haven't played it outside... Oh, I played it in 15 for a bit. Outside of FS13. It was Hagenstedt. Imagine what kind of mess we'd be in if the Giants map were completely mince. 1174. What? Hagenstedt. I think a lot of people started in FS13, so Hagenstedt was their first map, so that kind of has an inherent nostalgia value to it. Same, I guess, with Bjornholm, for the people that started in 15. Like, Bjornholm was a very good map, but it just can't match up to the nostalgia value of Hagenstedt and that hill. That hill with MR back in the day was just unusable. I remember I was playing with MR in FS13, and I'd loaded up a trailer full of round bales, because MR made round bales just inherently good back then. I was trying to come down the hill, and the tractor just took off at light speed. I think I got to stop just before the town. Imagine how much we'll all be complaining if stock maps were completely rubbish. Yeah. I'd probably still be on Sutton. I'd probably just deal with my issues with Sutton and stay on it. Or, I'd be on, like, Glen Isla. Or something like that. Something that maybe isn't 100% what I'd like in a map, but that I can make do with. But when I'm more than happy on Felsbrunn. I'm quite happy, you know, staying on this map until there's a really good mod map out. It was one of the rare Giants maps that seemed to have just a lot of life in it. To those of you who want me to play on Glen Isla, I'm really sorry. It just doesn't speak to me at all. And I don't even know why. I just don't like it. Just meh. Bjornholm's hill near the river was evil. Bjornholm had a lot of evil spots. Like, every Giants map has at least one spot that is just plain evil. Like, even here, the hill up to fields 1 through 5. That is an evil hill. There's one spot on every map that is just, you know, is it the port northwest? That port where I got smashed by a train in the multiplayer on Ravenport. That is an evil spot because the train line runs straight through it and the train goes around in the loop. Any new mods? None today. Hopefully tomorrow we'll get some more. But Giants QA is down another person temporarily while one of them is in hospital for an operation, it seems. These are the base maps, you know, the work. They're like something you can never put your finger on. I find that something Germany historically has been character. Because when you get strange shaped fields, like non-square, like on British maps, those fields just inherently have character. And when all the fields are, like in a Giants map, square and built around working with a hired worker, they lose the character and the map kind of loses a lot of its own character. That's why I generally dislike maps with square fields. Like, if it doesn't make sense to me having square fields, then I don't like it. Hey, Danny boy. Been spotted with the likes of Shamrock. See, that's the problem, is we're used to the end game 17 stuff, and then we're kind of thrown back into Giants-style maps with the square fields and maybe not as much character and individuality about them. And suddenly something feels wrong about it. But if you just look at the map as a map and take away the field issue that I just dislike square fields, if you take that away, it's a very good map. A very enjoyable map because there's a lot to explore, and and seeing the 2 base game maps now. Whereas historically there's not been that much exploration that you could really do. There's not much that you can really find as you go around the Giants maps. If you go to Germany or somewhere, and this is why I don't mind, this is why I kind of like Felsbrunn. Germany and the US are 2 countries that just love having square fields. Just absolutely love it, and I can't put my finger on. I'm guessing it's more efficient, or just the way the land was broken up historically, but the fields are square. Whereas in Ireland and the UK, the fields were broken up a bit more chaotically, and they end up in weird and wonderful shapes. But even in Ireland and the UK, there's a butt ton of square fields, or square-ish. They might be at jaunty angles, but they're still square-ish. Around me, Dusty, I'll send you the a link on Google Maps after the stream, and you can see the mayhem that is the fields around me. They've got like fences in them to make them square at times, but it's just shapes. And annoyingly, the cutest field in the world that was near me has been redone on Google Maps, and it looks horrific now. Helper E has completed the... Did I accidentally hire a worker? I must have accidentally hired a worker. I did, because the mower's been turned off. The thing about Lone Oak was that it was true to life. Like, me and the guys found the farm in real life on Google Maps, and it was so very close to what the actual farm was. This is a contract? Yep. Means I don't get to keep any of the bales, but I get to do some hay work. It also means that I've got a bale... Oh crap, I've got a bale with the 6M. This isn't gonna end well. Because I'm pretty sure the New Holland is the only one that can handle this hill. Even vaguely. But it's money. I mean, I could be really, really cheeky and cancel the contract, then go sell all the bales, and I think I might make a bit more money. Alexander, you've read my mind. Yeah, I might be cheeky and do that. Jeremy, there is an exploit where you can end the contract once you've bailed, and you get to keep the bales. And I could sell those off instead, and probably make a bit more than the... What is the offer that they've made for this contract? 5 grand. I could probably make more than that just by selling the bales, couldn't I? Do I cheese it? It's not cheating, it's cheesing. Do I cheese the contract? See you, Alexander. This is the real question, is do I start cheesing it? Contractors use loopholes? Yeah. Gamers love cheese. You get more money? Yes. Blash, yes you do. You usually make more by cheesing it. Which is why I'm... What you could do with a harvesting contract is just pile it all up in your yard. Even. I think you're allowed to do that. You could pile it all up in your yard, cancel a contract, and just sell it all off. Either that or just have like a bunch of trailers. And yeah, cheese it that way. There are multiple ways of cheesing contracts. Felsbrunn farmer reports Irishman seen legging it with his bales. Or are they patching the cheese? I think they should keep the cheese in because it's a fun little thing. I'm genuinely considering cheesing this contract. You've seen a report on Giants Forum? I hope it's not patched. I hope it's not patched, because it's an enjoyable little exploit. You got fined 45,000? Oh no, they already patched it. Ah, can't cheese the contract. That makes me sad. The cheese has been melted. The cheese is now fondue. More delicious, but not really possible to hold. You're hungry again? This is what you get for using food analogies, Dave. Even though I started it. I'm so glad that I had a bite to eat before I stream, because I'd be hungry as well. I always try and have something to eat before I stream so that I don't get hungry and start talking about food constantly. Put on so much weight since quitting smokes. Yeah, that's kind of the issue, is like... You find that smoking, when you're used to it, just kind of quenches the appetite a bit. And when you quit, you're just hungry all the damn time. The real trick now is going to be cutting back on the food, Dave. Hey, Jimmy. How you doing today, dude? You gotta change your suspension setup on your bike? Only the softest suspension for Dusty Dave. You've had enough, so you dare not quit the smokes? Do I like GPS? I've not really used it yet, Blash. I've got it installed. I'm going to test it after the stream. I comically was going to use it during the stream, then I remembered the T6 actually needed the... It's installed on the T6. Forgot that the T6 is the only one that I have that has a front 3-point that is... that has a front 3-point. So I had to nix the idea of using GPS today. Also, just remembered that I turned down the volume to next to nothing last night while I did a bit of off-camera work. A bit of rare off-camera work because I was testing... Oh yeah, I remember what I was testing. I was testing a mod last night and it was bad. So I decided not to use it. So I found it on Facebook. Facebook mods, by the way, are fine by me. Why is the viable pink? Because it makes it more viable. The conveyor's pink because it let me choose colors. And if I can choose colors, I will normally choose pink. This is one of the rules of Dave. If you can choose a color, choose pink. You'll be seeing a butt-ton more pink stuff on my farms throughout FS19. Just because pink is now a colour option. Do I have a girlfriend? Decidedly not, Dragon. Why is everything else not pink? Because I couldn't choose the color and everything else. I always enjoy getting asked about a good girlfriend, because those people clearly haven't read enough into the rainbow bit of my name. Hint, hint. Anything in on this channel that could be hiding something is probably hiding something. Why did you put a star in the middle? Okay. But I think you're 4960. Oh yeah, you were showing pictures in Discord last night. It's quite nice. What is my favorite color? Like my actual favorite color, but genuinely pink. And Dragon Skies, to answer your question, yes. I just don't talk like this all the time, darling. Yeah, my legit favorite color is actually pink. Like, no joke. It's either pink or like purple. Only in TS that voice. Only when I want to annoy Landy in TS. Or Sim. Because they know I can pull that voice out at any given time, and it's usually when it's going to be most annoying to them. Or has the greatest comedy value, I guess. I do a lot of stuff just for comedy value, I've realized. I don't give a damn. Anyway, what's my favorite mode in Farm Sim? What, like game start mode? I really like actually New Farmer. Or not New Farmer, Farm Manager. Best tractors to start a realistic... Oh, Dragon Skies, you've asked the wrong person. Best tractors to start a realistic series would be, especially on a small map. Now, this is particularly for a small map. The Case Quad Track, the Fent 1100, the MT900, but it has to have triples. And we'll say a T9 as well, just for a bit of variety. As well as that, you'd be really wanting like the Agco Ideal. As well as the Z056H header to go on the front of the Ideal. And if you want to do some corn, the Quasar F4 is a really good header. You'd also be wanting like the SICK 802 as a trailer. I'm really tempted to start a series now with that equipment. Just like the random equipment sale farm. Oh dear. Would that ever fit on the idea? I presume so. I see no reason why... There's only one way to find out. There's only one way to find out if that header will fit in the ideal. Oh yeah! Perfect. Need to unfold the harvester and turn it on. Let's. Yes! Haha! This is the future of combine harvesting. It's like sticking a scissors to the front of a tractor. Let's try it with the corn header. Oh god, this is even worse. I've just given the combine buck teeth. The header's not even as wide as the combine. Oh dear, let's get rid of this stuff real quick. Gotta keep that money though. Dave knows how to cheat correctly. At least you don't. This is true. I mean, you could definitely fit that down any road and farm sim with the header on. Ideal header on the bison. Oh my god, yes. You genius. Will it even fit? Like, will the bison just tip over straight away with the ideal header on it? Let's get the flex draper. Well, I know it'll fit, but will it just like tip the... Will it just tip the bison over immediately? Because that header is quite large. Oh, holy hell! The bison can carry it! Can't run it, but it can carry it! I'm actually pleasantly surprised by this nonsense. That shouldn't have worked. In no sane world would that work. The bison literally can't power the header. It doesn't have enough power. Which I'm perfectly okay with, because I distinctly remember people putting the biggest header in FS13 onto the little far and just kind of start harvesting. That's ridiculous. I thought that looked okay, apart from the bit where it wouldn't work. It's better than people getting those 50-meter wide headers anyway. Putting them on anything, because those things look ridiculous. They're great for off-camera work, but not very good for actually, you know, playing the game. Like the Ropa kit with the 100-meter header. Oh my god, seriously? That's why I'm very strict with what mods I'm allowing myself to use now, because people just come up with the dumbest stuff. Around and said, oh, why? Like, I get the potatoes and beets are boring, but if you find them, you know, if you think they're boring, just don't do them, or do them very rarely as like a punishment or something. Don't just get this redonkulous cheat header for them. It takes away from the point of doing them. Maize header for pepper and sugarcane. See, that one I'm fine with. I'm actually fine with like being able to do sugarcane with a forage harvester. That's fine by me. Like, sure, maybe it's not the most realistic thing in the world, but when sugarcane is basically pulped anyway by the harvester, I see no reason not to use a forager in game, or not to be able to. Gives it a British twist. Exactly. Like, I'm as much as I hate, you know, cheat equipment, I don't mind stuff if it vaguely makes sense. Like, if it's something that's at least believable, I'm fine with it. If it's something that's just big for the sake of being big, why? Like the people, like the 50-meter cultivators, why? Why don't you just use Courseplay or something if you hate cultivating? Or if it bores you, or if your fields are too big. Don't just use this 50-meter piece of nonsense. For Australia? In Australia, they usually have 2 or 3 pieces of equipment working a single field. Or just use direct seeder, yeah. Look, I'm fine with the cheat cultivator that the Frontier testers used in 17 to check field boundaries, because that had a role to play. That was like, it made sense in context. Because they had a cultivator that could work at like 100 miles an hour because it was literally just, it just existed to test field boundaries. I'm fine with that. But it's the 50-meter wide ones that people make just so they don't have to do as much work in Farm Sim where the entire game is doing farm work. Just why? Why did you buy this game if you don't want to play it? I want to play Farm Sim, but I don't want to actually do any work. What is this? This is Farm Manager mode. Hence why there's like nothing at the yard. Well, no yard as such and no house. So hired workers in Courseplay. They take away the tedious work, like seeding the mega field. Which, by the way, if you look at it, if I'd done that manually, I would still probably be about halfway by now. Me and the Grasshopper. That was for comedy value more than anything else, to be honest. It's like ETS but teleporting all the time, yeah. Oh yeah, also, I did do a bit of cheating and I put the Brown up to full wear. Because it looks absolutely glorious with full wear on it. That's something I did last night. That's actually one of the reasons I came in game last night. was to cheat the Browhound up to full wear, because Landy told me it looked so much better, and it does. And because it doesn't actually have an impact, it's staying like that forever. And any maps that I bring it on to, I will pretty much get it up to full wear immediately. So much stuff. Yeah, don't ever let the Massey telehandler get fully worn. I found that out the hard way last night. That looks horrific fully worn. That actually looks terrible. I still feel though that there should be some sort of punishment for letting stuff get fully worn. Did I pay for Windows 10? Yes. Well, yes and no. I bought Windows 8 and I did pay for a key for Windows 10 on eBay when I was reinstalling my Windows after a big wipe. So yes and no at the same time. Because I do have legit Windows 10. That I paid for at the moment, but I could have just had it for free as well. Need to download the Brown? Yes, you do. Expect to see CD stuff just be full of, like, just be fully worn forever, because he's got some sort of weird talent about making that stuff look pretty. Fence could look good rusty. Better than a JD on fire. Yeah, I think that the plows should like come from the shop worn and shiny, quite honestly. See you, Jeremy. Like, when the plows look that much better with the wear on them, I see no reason why they shouldn't come like that from the shop. But I also think that the wear should actually have some sort of punishment. See you, Dragon. Because like as it is, you can just let everything get fully worn, and yeah, sure, tractors don't have as much power as before. They can't get up to the same speeds as before. Harvesters work a bit more slowly, but there's no real punishment. If let's say you let a plow get fully worn and it started not being able to plow as much, or if a seeder started skipping bits in the field, or the same with a cultivator or something like that, then that'd be awesome. Same with like a windrower, if it started leaving just chunks of grass everywhere, was fully worn because it doesn't quite work the way that it used to, that'd be really nice. But that's not the way the game works, and it frustrates me so much. Because I feel like now that the wear's in and has a visible effect, it should also have a physical effect. It should, you know, it should punish you for not taking care of your tractors. You can't make a company's products look bad. True, but I don't know. It's kind of a catch-22 where you can't make the products look bad, but it detracts from the game when everything just works all the time anyway. Fuel usage, I would say, is actually realistic now. See, Adam Farmer and Adam. Everybody's leaving me. This isn't very nice. Everyone's leaving. You're still here, Kirk? Thank you, Kirk. Basic plan for the remainder of the stream is just get this done and start loading the bales up, I guess. You're watching? Hey, Richard. You've been lurking a lot lately, I guess, Richard. I haven't seen you in chat all that much. Can we, by the way, I haven't done this in a little, can we get the stream up to like 50 likes? That'd be awesome. We got 48 watching now. Let's see how high we can get that like number. You'd be distracted from GE. Your stuff in your face. Well, that's the best way to be sat watching a stream. With food. That's how I watch Landy's streams. Bit of apple juice would be nice. Yes, you have. I figured as much. When in doubt, cruise control. It makes life so much easier, especially when you want to pour some apple juice. There we go. That sounded satisfying. It's delicious apple juice from concentrate. Hey, Tom. All streams run to the toilet. Possibly. But I've got a refreshing drink set in front of me now. Which is nice because my voice now won't go as quickly. And it's vaguely healthy. It's only got 14 grams of sugar per 150 mils. That's quite a lot of sugar in some apple juice. But that is literally all the carbohydrates, so there's no fat. I wonder how the New Holland's getting on in the Mega... Is the New Holland actually using up the seeds? Oh, it is! Those seeds went a hell of a long way, good lord! Maybe the seed usage in farm sim should be increased for soybeans. CVF. I hit my sub goal. I have, but I'm not moving it yet. I might move it for tomorrow, Tom. I'll have to check before the stream. Because the problem is that I can set a sub goal of like +10 and it can be there for a few months at this point. Hello, Spud Boy. How you doing today, dude? I need to get back into making videos, I think. Your day gone tomorrow? Yeah. I need to get back into making videos and doing interesting things instead of just streaming all the time, which is fun, but streaming doesn't seem to be bringing in the subscribers or even viewers that it used to. I am doing good. How are you? Let's get this back over to the yard and we'll swap into the 6M, do some baling, hopefully. Assuming the 6M can actually power the baler. Need a map for videos. See, the thing is, I can do something with Glen Isla if... I might do something with Glen Isla. It's not a perfect map, but it's something that I can come up with something to do. Can the 6M actually power the baler? Because if it can't, then I'm screwed. Actually, first and more important thing to do is going to be grabbing this and getting a couple of bags of seeds. Is your friend's funeral today? That sucks, dude. Yeah, let's be positive. It's not perfect, it's the only thing keeping you on 19 at the moment. Yeah. 19's really struggling at the moment, I think. Just as a game, because like there's no really good maps, and at this point in 17 we had we had Shellington, we had Coldborough, we had Lostburg, which I never really liked, but I got on well with. Hey, Karen. We need a new map. Yeah. I think this is going to be the way the game is as a whole, is just like you need to have interesting ideas, and I'm gonna, I think, roll out something vaguely interesting, I hope, on Glen Isla. The game's got a lot of potential, but it's just kind of going wrong at the moment. And I'm not entirely sure why. Nope. So delightful, thank you very much, Kyron. Right. The joy of the seed tank being on the front of the New Holland, by the way, is I can do this. You will stop now. Or... I mean, this works too. Ha 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 ha! Perfect. Right, now to struggle bust the baler with the 6. Can this even pull the baler? I mean, I know it'll pull. Can this power the baler? Next level farming experience. Thing is, I could see some farmer deciding that was a good idea in real life and actually trying it. Right. If this can't power the baler, I'm screwed. It can power the baler, we're good. I'm actually going to GS cheat money out 800,000. Just so that we've got like an amount of money that doesn't allow me to start buying new stuff constantly, because I'll start doing that if I get the chance. And the million I cheated in was just to do the ridiculous thing with the ideal and the... Yes, I know I don't have access to the land, I just want to grab the... Okay, that's why I didn't pick up that hay before. This is maximum velocity. I have cheat mode enabled, DJ, that's why it works for me. This is top speed, guys. This is as fast as we go. Settle in for a long baling session. As the poor 6M screams in agony. That's it. This is probably actually a realistic speed for picking up hay into Square Vales. Get Sutton Farm. I did. I don't like it. I dropped it. Thank you for asking. Bell downhill. I will once I get around the top of the headland here. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll just go uphill very slowly, and once we got the headlands done, we'll just like bail downhill and then drive this thing straight up the hill again with the bailer off. Yeah, if you don't want to just cheap money, you can just download the government subsidy mod. Culver Park Farm is a map now. No, it's not. It's not coming out for FS19. Because Bullet Bill has seemingly quit modding. But I'm sure that you're one of these people who have the utmost respect for modders and use only the finest dodgy sites. And, you know, only the best converts with absolutely no permission from the original author. With zero quality. Sure, you're one of these people. Subsidies is a cheat. It is. That's the entire point of it, is a money cheat on console. They're the best mods, I know! Only the lowest quality. Does the money cheat work? What money cheat are you talking about, Richard? The government subsidies mod? It just gives you money every hour, like something stupid like 100,000. Though you can edit it down if you want in the XMLs if you're on PC. Sandy Bay modded map is out. No, it's not. That's again a convert that's been badly done with no permission from Oxygen David, and it's probably doing the rounds on all the dodgy sites, which I'm sure you frequent because you don't give a damn about actual respect for modders. Do you want to keep playing this game? Because I could play this all day. Hey Nathan, could you, if possible, shoot Oxy a message? If he's about? We can ask him if Sandy Bay's out. I'm sure Kyron's next line will be Chellington's out, which that's not even coming to the game. Or Thornton's out, which might come in time, but not anytime soon. Oxy's only got one map ready to release, and it's stuck in Giants testing at the moment. Also, I'm enjoying how this song is called Derps and it's not working. That is a very fitting song name. Do I have a wife? No, nor will I ever. Hey, Jamie Dodger. Or Dogger. Am I saying ScumHub US is bad? Yes. Why is there such a problem with mods this time around? It seems like Giants QA is just having a bit of an organizational nightmare. Okay, whatever just happened, that fixed it. By By the way, if you're new here and you're wondering why I'm ripping on somebody, it's because, no, number one, I've spoken to Oxy and Bullet Bill quite a lot in the past. I've got massive respect for them, and I hate when people say, "Loose map's out." Unofficially. Some fool decided to convert it without any permissions. What's happening with Oxy's map? It's stuck in testing. Or in the testing queue, seemingly. Long story short, we have absolutely no idea down the line. It was being tested. He asked permission to upload a new version instead, to get that tested instead, and it's been stuck in the queue ever since. Giants are aware that we want maps. But QA is so just snowed under with stuff to test that it's becoming a bit difficult. Like if you look at the testing queue or the testing topic on Giants forum, there's like they celebrated when they got under 200 mods a couple of weeks ago, and now there's 260 in the queue. I can see it breaking 300. 300 very soon. Short of some sort of miracle. Because QA is shorthanded, and it's even more shorthanded now that somebody has had some medical issues and has had to go to hospital. So, I mean, it's not 100% down to Giants. Like, there is just kind of a Murphy's Law thing going on right now that anything that can go wrong with QA testing is going wrong. So, you know, I'm not gonna rail on Giants for it. We might see maps at some point later this year. But Nathan, as much as it pains me to say this, maybe you're better off like releasing Meadow Growth through Discord temporarily or Facebook or something, if things don't improve by the time Meadow Grove's ready to be released, and uploading to Giants. Like, still uploading to Giants, but just doing a CD models release. And, you know, I think Giants might relax the rules on it has to be on ModHub exclusive if you release on Facebook or Discord. John Deere mods are fine for consoles now, Richard. Any John Deere can go on console now. Same with any Fiat can go on console now. Let's have a look at the brands here, real quick. Where's the brands? Anything from Agco, Agrasem, Agramash, Amazon, Annaberger, Arcusin, Armatrack, Bednar, Bergman, Beckman, Bradel, Brown, or not Brown, Capello, Case IH, Challenger, Damcon, Deutz, DFM, Duvelsdorf, EasySheds.com, Einbuch, Elmers, Farmtech, Fendt, Fiat, Flexicoil, Flegel, FMZ, Fortschritt, FSI, Gessner, Goldhofer, Great Plains, Gregoire Besson, Grimme, Hardy, Holmer, Holaris, Hatzenbichler, Horschusqvarna, JCB, Johnsonred, John Deere, Jens, Joskin, Karcher, Kemper, Komatsu, Kinsey, maybe just Komatsu Forest actually, because that's very specific. Kramer, Krampe, Kruger, Krone, Kuhn, Caverland, Linder, Lemkin, Lely, Load King, Magsy, Manitou Man, Mahindra. Mahindra's a big one. Massey, McCulloch, Micheletto, New Holland, Paladin, Rabia, Ponze, Pottinger, Randon, Rao, Ropa, Sampo, Salford, Rossomash, Samson, Schumacher, Silo King, Styr Steppe, Styra, Steel, Stoll, Stroutman, Thuringer, Tatra, Sewers, Thunder Creek, Treffler apparently? That might be a mod. TT, what is this? No, Treffler. TT, Unverforth, Vaderstad, Valtra, Vicon, Vainhuis. No, that's Vertex. Yeah, Wartze, Wilson, Ziegler, and Zunhammer. Anything from those brands can be on console with no problems. As long as the brand is base game or in game, it can be on console. This is the wonder of the giants or the licenses. Why was I naming all the brands? I was going through what licenses giants have for console. As long as there is in-game, this is a little trick giants have, and or use. Depending on how you wanna. Modders can also get like licenses and written permission to have stuff come out in console. So that's how CD and some of the guys that bring out stuff that isn't in-game, in base game, they can get permission too. But anything that is base game, as long as there is one item from that brand in the base game, it can be on console. This is the fun of it. This is why there is an individual Fiat in the game. That individual Fiat allows for 11090s, 18090s, anything onto console. Mikhail no longer allows mods on console though. Does it? That kind of sucks if that's true. A lot of brands are fine with mods coming into console because it means they get to be in Farm Sim, which is good advertising. More importantly for them, it's free advertising. Who are they asking the companies about licensing? I have no idea. I have no idea who you'd even think of asking. I'm sure they just contact, like, somebody within the company, probably like press or something, maybe? And ask there. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start. Like that's something that only a modder who's done it can tell you. How the hell you go about doing that? If you're wondering why I'm bailing downhill only, by the way, it's because this thing doesn't really like going uphill and goes at 6. So it's actually faster to go 29 uphill and bail only downhill. Never seen this problem at YouTube before. I probably have. I think I've seen all of them at this point. You can see even up here, like, with just the baler on the back, it's struggling at 11. So there is logic behind me just driving up the hill. I guess. But that's where somebody like CD or Black Sheep or Arm Team or somebody like that, you know, they'd have to tell us, because I wouldn't even know where to start. This is one of those weird times where there's actual method behind my madness. And it's faster to do something in a stupid way. Do any of you who have like real life farms, do you have like a field anywhere where you've got to only bail downhill or something? Or bail in like one direction because that's the only way that it'll really work? I'm kind of curious. Then again, I'm sure that if you have a real life farm and you gotta feel that problematic, you'd probably get in a contractor and make them break all their equipment. Instead of you running the risk of breaking yours. Whoop. Needed enough farm, they had a field, they had to have them run out, follow the baler to catch the bales. That's wonderful. Glengar, that's the point of this music, is chip tunes, so it's all kind of 8-bit and 16-bit. Again, another type of music that I just plain enjoy because it's retro and nice. Right, seeing as cheesing this field probably isn't going to work, we're just going to stack up the bales as quickly and as nicely as we can. And run over to the barn, which annoyingly is at the other side of the map. Field next to you can only be built downhill, it's that steep. Okay, so that is a thing that people do in real life. How did I get the trailer warned so quick? It's called using the cheat commands. Because it just looks better when it's fully worn. Because I only bought this thing yesterday. It's one of these rare pieces of equipment where it just plain looks better when it looks like as it wouldn't. Well, in reality, it looked like crap. That's fully worn. But yeah, it looks so much better fully worn. Won't be long before you pass your driving test, fingers crossed. Hopefully. Is nobody gonna mention the awesome jump that I just did in this thing? Brother, is his driving test tomorrow? Well, fingers crossed he passes. You can be Glengar's personal taxi driver. You stick to driving yourself? You don't want your own personal chauffeur, Glengar? Jeeves, bring me to the pub, Jeeves. Not him. Oh, is he that good of a driver? You've been driving for just over a month? Or just under a month? Even. Think you get a little Polo, you just can't afford to pay for petrol. Why not get an electric car? Like, genuine question. Other than the fact that you'd have to, like, do the automatic test and you'd never be able to drive a manual without doing a second driving test. Which is probably a good reason to not get an electric car straight out the bat. I'm one of these people who actually would drive an electric car, by the way. Because they'd be so much cheaper to run. I mean, sure, there'd be the issue of, yeah, if you do the test in auto, you actually can't. You're not legally allowed to drive a manual. Which is why almost everybody chooses to do the test in manuals, so they can drive an auto. Doesn't work the other way? No. If you drive, because manual is so much more difficult to drive in theory, that if you pass your test in manual, you can drive autos. You've done 3 edges. That's usually the kind of question that I ask Nathan. Stealing my thunder, yo. But yeah, the way driving tests work is, like, if you pass it in a manual car, you can drive autos, but it doesn't work the other way around. Manuals about it all. Well, in manuals you get a bit more control, like you can, if needed, pop into a lower gear or a higher gear just to get, like, depending on the car, to get a bit more torque. Because some engines produce torque at lower RPM, some at higher RPM. So if you're like stuck on a really tough hill, you just want all of the torque. Then in the winter you want to lower the torque, so you drive whatever, like on an icy road you want as little torque as possible. Autos are better in traffic and a bit easier to accelerate. Yes! And if you're a lunatic like my granddad was, you can blow the gearbox in an automatic. I still don't know how he managed that. He blew every seal in the gearbox. In an automatic. Driving on snow ice, second gear is the way to go. Depends on the engine in your car. Some engines produce more torque at lower RPM. You actually want as little torque as you can get away with. Unless you're driving like a rally car with studded tires, in which case torque doesn't matter. Traction control, yeah, traction control does help. And four-wheel drive. Start in second, keep the revs low. You can do it in first and keep the revs low as well, but yeah, second's a bit safer. Less likely to induce wheel spin in a higher gear. Meanwhile, in Finland, part of the driving test is inducing as much wheel spin as possible. Because part of the test in, I think it's Finland, definitely up in Scandinavia, part of the test is a skid pan. Right. I'm just gonna bring him over, what, 8 bit? for a 12 bales at a time, because it's going to be... I trust 8 bales to not be top heavy. This is true, Glengar, but I think it'll be useful just anywhere to know car control at that level. Because, like, the intention is that you know how to come out of a skid. That's just useful to know for anybody. You have a name for the map. Is it Mappy McMapface? Is the map called the Land of Count Farmington III, Lord of all of the farms? G.E. McGee face? You can spell Norway as well? Yeah. I think that's something that should just be part of a test anywhere. Because it is... so many crashes are caused by somebody losing control and overcompensating for it that it just makes logical sense that a part of the driving test should be knowing what happens and how to take control back when the car starts to skid, or you know, you start to lose a small bit of control. It's just something that should be a given. Not even snow, but just like difficult weather in general, or like wet leaves or something. I don't particularly care about like weather conditions when it comes to that, but it should be something that like you should know how to regain control of a skid. I'm doing good, Eddie Boo. How are you? Yeah, that's basic car control. I'm talking kind of more advanced stuff where with like once you lose control, regaining it. Like, ooh, horseplay is actually behaving itself. That's new. This is one of those weird times where I say something that at first is stupid, like skid pans should be part of a driving test. But then I back it up with, hey, this is why. It just makes logical sense. Guarantee it would cut the amount of road crashes as well. Hi Lanes, is it covered in hemp? Does it Dave after the hemp mod already? Motorway should be part of the driving test. I don't know. Roundabouts definitely should be. Because there's so many people who drive that don't know how to use a roundabout. Just pedestrians blind with people vaping. Maximum memes. Hey, farming feature. That... What? The bale spike just phased through the bale. It's one of the lessons to drive to a carriageway. I think more time should be devoted to like roundabouts and weird like the weird and wonderful junctions that happen than to like dual carriageways and stuff. Someone always crashed into you in a roundabout with their learner's car. There's usually near crashes and roundabouts in Ireland because people just don't understand them. Between indicating wrong or just not understanding roundabouts at all or never indicating at all, it's a crapshoot when you hit a roundabout at times. Then you have the people who stop in the middle of the roundabout because they don't understand that they have the right of way. Do I drive? Nope. Am I a better driver than quite a few people who have licenses in Ireland? Probably. Donegal is the worst. Between bad roads and bad drivers. Why don't I drive? Because I can't afford a license, Richard. I can't afford driving tests or driving lessons or a license. Is a simple answer. If and when I get a job, I will be getting a license and a crappy little car from like 2002. Or maybe a bit newer because it'll be lower tax and possibly insurance. Either way, I'll be getting a crappy car that all I care about is, does it work? Yes, good. It's so expensive to get a license, and then you got like the learner's permit, then the novice license, then the full license. It's ridiculous. Finally left console, you're on PC from today. Well, welcome to the mod-centric the mod-centric overlords of Farm Sim. Where we get all the mods, good and bad. Console just get the good ones. Some of the good ones, at least. We have to deal with all the work in progress stuff as well. Learner's license costs €6. I don't know what it is in Ireland, but it's significantly more than that. Like 80 or something? Should do it soon. They're upping the theory test to 80 questions in Ireland? I don't actually mind that. I know like most of the theory questions anyway, because a lot of them are just kind of common sense. In Ireland there's only 2 licenses, but for the first 2 years of having a full license you're counted as a novice driver, where you've got to have end plates on the car, and what used to be called the provisional license is now, I think it's actually now like learner's permit provisional license for the first 2 years after you pass your test, and then full license. You've no idea if people have a functional life without a driver's license? I don't. Do I have a quad track? No. People should have to be... I think so too, Addy. Learner until the test passed, novice for 2 years after the test, yeah. Which I'm actually perfectly fine with. Some of the questions in the theory are unbelievable to... Yeah, it's comical, some of the questions that do appear in the theory test. Like, they're never going to come up in real life, but at the same time you gotta know them, apparently. Driving is something essential now. Well, especially if you live somewhere like where I do, in kind of a more rural area where there isn't great transport links. What'd you miss? Not a whole lot. We're just kind of derping about today and chatting about driver's licenses. But like where I live is quite rural, so like the transport links are okay if I want to get to Dublin or Cork or Waterford or Limerick, but other than that, it's, yeah, interesting to say the least. We have a bus to Dublin every 2 hours, so like if I want to go to Dublin, I just choose which 2 hour period I want to leave. And that's the bus that I get. What town am I in? I'm not going to say, Richard. If I know a lot about first aid, well, I was in Scouts for years, and a lot of that was first aid, and that was actually my strongest point, so... Way to Limerick. Limerick's quite nice, Eddie Boo. Limerick City Centre is really nice, actually. Like, it's a very modern looking city centre. You wouldn't pass now? Your sister lives in Limerick. It's a bit mean to be saying that it's not worth going to then. Beautiful place. The coastline's beautiful. The more mountainous areas are okay as well, I guess, but... I mean, I live literally at the base of a mountain, so... I'm kind of used to seeing the mountain scenery, so I don't really... I just see it as kind of this thing that's just there. And like, I live in kind of a tourist-based town, so... It's very difficult for me to give a fair assessment of Ireland when I like, just downtown, there's this massive tourist attraction that everybody raves about, and I'm just like, well, it's just there. I don't see the big deal. Ring of Kerry's beautiful. I want to go back to Killarney at some point and do the Ring of Kerry properly. What about CDLs here in the States? And he's in Canton. Darth, we're talking about just private driver licenses. There's such high standards in Ireland and the UK. It's kind of hilarious. Ring of Kerry. You think you know where I live? I think you're probably wrong. I've been to Mayo. I have been to Mayo about 3 or 4 times. Actually, last time I was in Mayo, I got winter vomiting bug in like June, because it was for a school tour back in... Oh god, it was 15 years ago now, roughly. And pretty much everybody got the winter vomiting bug in the middle of June, which was interesting to say the least. What's the next one you're gonna get? I thought you were... Are you not going for a PPL? Or an ATPL? Or a CPL? God, pilot's licenses are such weird acronyms. I was in Delphi. Was it? Yeah, the adventure centre in the fjords of Mayo. The group that was there like a few days before I saw the winter vomiting bug, and as a direct result, there were about 30 12-year-olds all vomiting everywhere on the way back. The poor bus driver had to stop every 5 or 6 miles. Like, what should have been a 5-hour journey, or 4 or 5 hour journey, took about 7 because every, 20 minutes or so somebody's saying, we need to stop the bus. Everyone goes to Delphi. Yeah, the group that were there before us that year had the winter vomiting bug, and it just ended up as a mess. It was so messy. In any case, we're landing on countdown, apparently. And only Darth has said this. So I'm not entirely sure if he is actually live. There's nothing in Discord as well. Is he live? Andy is live. I'm just double... Oh yes, he is. With Andy live, that is going to do it for today, guys. He's live now. Has he just gone live? I'll be back tomorrow with more farming goodness, probably, if I can be bothered. I might play something else, who knows. Until next time, stay... And goodbye. I muted my mic a bit early there. Bye-bye!